Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Saw some people were watching the last Rookie Legends race I did. I think it was from a couple seasons ago. So decided in order to try to help some people, maybe figure out some things early on in this week and to get something in, I would run another one since we were at the same track. So didn't know if they changed the setup at all. You can't really see it from the garage, so decided to run one to
Exit
kind
is
of get an
clear.
updated feel
Don't
on
cross
what
the
it's
line.
like for
Okay,
this
Jake. We've
season.
got
So
2 laps to get the job done.
I am not very quick compared to a couple people in this, but I'm hoping that I can at least qualify towards the front and then somehow find a way to save tires better than them and maybe have a little bit of pace later on in the race and be able to move up that way. So gonna go out here, qualify, try to put myself, like I said, as close to the front as I can. See if I can somehow maybe squeak out a third place and start on the inside row. I think the biggest thing to do here is you're shifting and then downshifting back into second in the corners. The gearing's just not very good at all. So shifting about halfway down the straight and then downshifting pretty quickly in the entries. I'm usually letting most of the RPMs kind of carry the car into the corners and slow it down. So second lap was quite a bit slower, but
P3. That
third
puts
lap
you
was, or first lap was good
0.21
enough to
off
get
the
me
pace.
third, which is what I was looking for. We are car number 2. I think there's 14 in this. It might have split 3 times. With it being a rookie class, I would expect the field to be really, really weak. Most guys are not going to spend their time in this, and I'm trying to recover some safety rating from an abysmal super late model fixed race that I attempted to run that I didn't bother showing you guys because we ran more than half the race under caution. I lost quite a bit of safety rating in that, so I'm hoping maybe this will be clean enough with some people that seem like they might know what they're doing, um, that I can, get out of this with a 0x. It's only 40 laps, so it's not going to be worth a ton of corners, but any 0x I can put in, it'll be worth something towards the safety rating. And if I can finish somewhere, second, third, in theory, maybe gain a tiny bit of I rating. And hopefully, like I said, anybody that's starting out in the Rookie Legends or wanting to run these this week, like I said, I've seen some people viewing the last one I did, so I figured I'd give kind of like an updated one in case they did change anything in the setup. I think it's driving pretty identical to what it is. I'm just hoping maybe I learned a little bit more in tire saving, can kind of put that into practice. You can see I was about 3/4 of a second or 3/4 of a tenth off the one car. He's been fast. He was lighting it up in the practice session I was into. And we're right around the same pace as the four, so I feel like the one probably is going to get away pretty quickly to start.
That's the end of the session.
Hopefully,
P3.
starting on the inside, I can get by the four, and then just try to use a little bit of advantage to stay in front of him, get myself into second where I should be running. I don't think unless something crazy happens with 9, 12, 5, any of them behind the gaps that they are behind, we should really have to worry about too much that way. But people could surprise me easily. Like I said, my hope is that I can tire save better than some of the other drivers that are going to be in this. So that's the setups typically are pretty tight, which is the exact opposite of what you do in the open setup, the C class series. You tend to go really, really loose to start with them. So I think
The track temp is
tire
18.
saving
The air
when a
temp
setup's
is
tight, which
78.
is
Frame rate.
obviously pretty true for a fixed series race typically. The tighter it is, the more tire saving is going to be important
Car number
to keep it
0.
off
1.
of
On the
the
inside
right
lane.
front and keep the grip up later on. Especially where we're not going to have any cautions in this, so you're guaranteed to run a full 40 laps on the set of tires without any chance for them to cool down. So yeah, the more you can save, the better off it's going to be. So there is one fast repair since the lower class series. I'm going to uncheck that. I'm going to uncheck tires. Hopefully I will not have any problems and won't have to use it, and we can just get away clean. But we'll just have to see. I got session fast lap pulled up. I don't even know when to expect the best lap. I would probably, if I know Legends, it's probably going to be somewhere around lap 10-ish into 40, but we'll just have to see. So it's going to be a second gear start. Actually, I'm kind of thinking first gear now.
Okay, Jake. Are you ready?
Leaders
Watch for the
off.
lights. Go,
Probably
go, go.
shifted a bit too early there, but not a big deal. Just tap into third to get into one to get away from the four. We've got no problems that way. Like I said, biggest thing for me is to just kind of hang with the four, but save tires, slow the car down early, and not pick up the throttle too early. I think using a little bit more of the track to kind of widen the arc and reduce some of the stress on the right front is also going to be the way to go. It'll help keep momentum up as well as reduce some of the stress on the right front. So we're off and rolling. 4 got sucked back. 12 and 13 both got by him, so that's the disadvantage of starting second and on the outside in general.
The guy behind has just done a 15.66.
Like I said, if I get beat by the one, I'm kind of expecting that. He was really quick, and I literally haven't run these since the last time I did it, so it's kind of coming in a little green with it, but just using prior knowledge, you can see I'm picking up the throttle a little too early there, and 1 and 2 kind of pushed out a little bit too much. You'll start to see us use a little bit of the apron to kind of help rotate the car as well as the tires wear out. Barely tapping the brakes, just kind of set the car in. Trying to roll out of the throttle a little bit earlier.
P2.
You can see we gain a little bit. We're quite a bit ahead of the 12. Second, the 4 is trying to work his way back up through the field. And we're just sitting right around 0.4 to half a second behind the 1. So, like I said, if I can keep that gap and then save tires a little bit better, then might be able to eat away with that towards the last, maybe 10 or 15 laps of the race. Just have to see how it goes, otherwise we're at least running right where we should. And no real problems on the track, which is nice. Pulling away from the 12. Got that up to about a 1.5 second gap. Pushed it a little wide there, but able to keep it off the wall. Track feels a lot wider in these smaller cars compared to when I've run like, late models or anything else here. He's pulled out just slightly, but like I said, I made a mistake there and he might be pushing a little bit harder too. But we're keeping pace with him, and like I said, if I'm able to keep pace with him and save tires a little bit better, then maybe able to set myself up to try to reel him in back half of the race. Otherwise, he just knows exactly what he's doing, and you kind of got to watch and see the differences between the two of us.
You've just done a 15.51.
Really biggest thing to saving tires is just to kind of get the car slowed down a little bit more into the corners. And that way you don't spend quite as much time leaning on the right front tire to slow it down into the corner.
Right, Jake, that's good consistency.
It'll feel like it's faster and working, but you'll end up wearing out the tire a lot quicker, and then you'll go slower overall. It's hard to learn for sure, but it definitely pays off later on if you can get the self-discipline to do it.
15.54.
Although you got to make sure you don't do what I do there and almost get a wall. That's not going to bode well for you. Laps are starting to click off.
15.51.
Want to try to minimize as much of that tire squeal as you can. That's when you know you're doing better. Feel like he might be taking a little bit of a later apex into the corner. Just trying to work my line right now. Tap to break that time a little bit getting into the corner. Got slower traffic up ahead now. He had to check up for the 9 that allowed me to pull up a little bit closer. Not gonna be looking for the pass yet, just kind of looking to hang with them.
That lap was a 15.5.
Don't get anything beneficial by leading more than the last lap right now, so just want to stay close enough that I can give myself enough laps and the opportunity to make a pass at the end.
That lap was a
I said I kind of
6.1.
let him dictate the pace, see if he wants to slow the pace down or if he's going to want to push to try to get away. So if he wants to push and he doesn't know how to save tires as well, then that'll play right into my hands. Got to tap on the brakes a little bit more as the right front starts to wear a little bit, get the car to rotate in. You can see lap times have fallen off a bit. Kind of overshot turn 3 there. Got the 14 up ahead. We'll see if he goes high for both of us, as he's kind of all over the place, almost cuts down on the 1. Goes high that time. Thank you to him.
Clear up high.
Wish they would fix the gearing in these series so that you didn't have to shift, but
Fuel's good. You've just done
it's just way
6-2.
too short of a gear to be able to run it in second gear, but third gear is just way too tall to run by itself as well. See, the one blinked
That's
for
good
just a minute.
consistency. Keep it up. That was a 15.61.
We are a little over halfway. We're going to be 22 done with 18 to go this time by. And we've been running almost identical pace to them.
15.65.
We were holding somewhere between 4 and 5 tenths before the lap car, and then we got to the lap car and it cut down to 3 tenths, and we've been hanging with that, so I feel like he and I are on pretty equal ground. Like I said, it'll come down to who managed tires a little better, which I think made a few laps where I've messed with him a little bit, but we'll see if he pushed a little too hard as well. Just got to wait a little longer to pick up the throttle. Oh, I overshot turn 1 big
That lap
time.
was 15.71.
It's not going to be good for the right front. Got the 7 cup ahead. He's going to stay low. Like he's going to the pits. Definitely catching up to the 1.
That lap was a
I said I'm fine with just sitting behind him right now. Let him dictate the pace. I am going to need probably a few laps to get by him, but take it easy right now. Not looking to pass him, although I think the way the pass is going to be is take a little bit of a later entry and try to cut underneath him and get to his inside on the exit. He's continually kind of leaving that open for me. But he may be trying to bait me into something as well. And we've still got 12 laps to go this time by, so not quite enough time. I think he might have been backing off the pace a little bit to save some tires. You see he stretches it back out a little bit. Using a little bit more brakes to get in. Trying to slow down a little bit earlier. And waiting just a little bit longer to pick up the throttle as the right front wears out. That's the way to continue to save tires and not abuse the right front too bad. If you've done a good job, you'll have more than a lot of people, so later on in the run, like the last, 5 to 10 laps, you can really start pushing it. And be able to do something with it, so. Gotta show our hands, see if we can get them to bite up the track. Let's see if I can push them a little bit more now. So we are just 9 to go. Now I really got to start trying to make my way back towards them. See if I can find that pace around them. It's all about getting back to the throttle earlier will be the way around them, so it means I got to slow down just a little bit sooner than he does. Got the 14 again coming up. Just trying to make my move around the 1, so we're going to have to wait to clear the 14 and then try to get by the 1. 1 looks like he might have gotten a bit loose. Trying to get around the 14.
That was a 16.
Get back on the apron. Try to get the thing off the corner. He's pulling away a little bit, so definitely going to be tough to get around him, but like I said, expect he was a lot better than me, so got just 5 to go.
That lap time was 16.06.
Nothing else. I did a good job hanging with him. Hopefully, if I don't get by him, I gave him something to sweat and think about in the race. Just trying to roll back on the throttle, get to him. Try to get to his inside here.
They're outside.
I don't think he was quite there. He chops down. Try to get to the inside, see if we can complete the pass this time. He's definitely going to drive us defensively. We've got just 2 to go. Got the preferred line now on the inside. If I can just maintain it, should be able to get away with the lead.
Push now. We might win.
We'll have the momentum off the corner, but
Come on,
oh, I think he cut down. I don't know. I mean, he was blocking hard. He's going to dive it in. And he tried to make the pass, couldn't make it stick, so.
That's a win. Great job. Well done.
Didn't mean to get into you there in turn 1. Sorry about that. So, sorry, I don't think I really did. I think personally I avoided them, but you can see tires you're going to wear the right front out for sure. 85, 97. I was pushing it really hard at the end, so that I expected that right front to be worse, but that's what allowed me, that tire saving that first half to 3/4 of the race is what allowed me to really be able to push, those last few laps and get them. Let's take a look at the end. I know I wanted a 0x out of it. Fortunately, we didn't get it, but he also got an extra 4x, I think, for that last shot right there. So, I don't know. I kind of guess I overvalued the win a little bit, but let's take a look at these last few laps. Look at them from far chase. So he was starting to make mistakes. I could tell he was kind of doing the whole protecting the bottom on the entry, and I was trying to, like right here, I was setting up the higher entry to cut underneath and try to, brake a little bit earlier, get back to the throttle a little earlier, try to take the inside line. I wasn't quite there, and that's why I backed out right there. I think it scared him enough, though, that it sent him up the track, so I could try to get to the inside. Was being respectful. We were not on the inside line yet at that point. We were on the inside line, but we weren't to his inside. Again, trying to, do the best that I could to stay off him, keep it as low as I could. We had him cleared at this point. Okay, so that was actually netcode, it looks like. Yeah. I mean, he came all the way down. Like, I don't know if he thought he was going to try to turn me or if he thought he was going to fall in line, but you can see he was cutting down well before. And we get a little bit of netcode. So, sucks that 4x comes from netcode, but, only so much I could do about that. I don't think I did anything wrong there. I think I just drove it, about as well as I possibly could. And then he dove in, and right there was where he made that little bit of contact coming to the checker. He did all he could to try to get to my inside. We had the preferred line, we had the preferred entry. So yeah, sucks that I wasn't able to get a 0x out of that, especially out of a rookie race. But I guess that's what it is at times. But glad I was able to show you guys tire saving and show you the benefits of that, what it will allow you to do at the back end of the run and get a win out of it. So let's take a look at the results. Fortunately, like I said, the 4x is going to hurt the safety rating part a little bit. Yeah, you can see this top split of 4, 1911 strength of field, so actually a lot stronger than I thought it would be. He was a 38, almost 3,900 coming into it. Wow, did not expect that. So lost 0.03 on the safety rating. Sucks. Wish we wouldn't have that contact right at the end. But I think if I can get a few more races, get some more oval races in with 0x's the rest of this week, should be able to reset that and get that going back in the right direction. The other thing too, if you didn't see my ARCA video, when I tire save, I'm almost never going to run the fastest lap individually. You can see we were not far off of it. The one was actually able to run a 15.467 to our 15.500. I don't ever look for that to be the fastest lap. I look to have the pace on the back end and be able to push. And you can see that's where we had, obviously winning, we had the fastest average lap time. But by saving up in the front and giving up a little bit to him and doing just enough to kind of hang with him allowed me to be able to close in. I think had we not had the lap car, it would have been obviously a little bit of a tougher battle. We might have had to use the tires a little bit sooner to get back to him because we were, 4 and 5 tenths away from him instead of 2 and 3 tenths. But I think the process still would have been the same and probably would have played out very similarly. I think we were able to also push him a little bit more than he expected it needed to. So you can also see able to gain 66 iRating out of it, so just under 2850. So approaching the 3K mark, which I don't think I've ever been at the 3K mark. So hopefully can keep that going and keep some better progress. Keep working on the safety rating. Like I said, the 4x was netcode, and I was in the spot. Like, I don't see how I did anything wrong there. I think he just cut down all the way from the top and either thought he was going to door me on the right side or if he was going to fall in behind. So that's just a bad break. I don't really know what I could have done differently in that one, unfortunately. But overall, pretty good race. Hopefully, you guys, if you're trying to run these this week, hopefully this helps you and kind of see some driving lines, some in-race tips, and helps you really focus on the key points that'll make you fastest overall at the end, not just, fastest up at the front. So if you got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Any tips, feel free to leave that there. If you want to leave your feedback on the incidents that we looked at, or if you would have done the past differently, by all means, love to hear from you guys. Just love to hear from you guys in general. Hopefully you enjoyed that one pretty quick. And until the next one, I hope all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.